Chair recognizes the gentleman from Pike. For what purpose, sir?
Communicate with the body, Mr. Speaker.
You may.
Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the body, I rise today because I have had a change of heart. And I rise today because I'm tired. I'm tired of all the prayers without action. Today we prayed for more victims and their families affected by yesterday's tragic school shooting in Parkland, Florida. Some 2 weeks ago, after the shooting in Marshall County, we on this floor, we all bowed our heads and we solemnly prayed for the victims and their families and for the community. But beyond our prayers, Mr. Speaker, what actions are we taking to prevent the next school shooting, the next tragedy in one of our schools? In the book of James, in the Bible, it says, "What good is it, my brothers, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can that faith save him? If a brother or sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and one says to them without giving them the things that they need for the body, what good is it?" So also faith by itself, what good is it? It is dead if there are no works to go with it. Do you want to be shown that faith apart from works is useless? Was not Abraham your father justified by works when he offered up his son Isaac on the altar? You see that faith was active along with his works, and faith was completed by his works. You see that a person is justified by works and not by faith alone. For as the body apart from the spirit is dead, so also faith apart from works is dead. So ladies and gentlemen, our prayers for the victims of these tragic and senseless mass school shootings, whether it's at Marshall County High School, Heath High School, Columbine, Sandy Hook, or Parkland, Florida, our faith and prayers without actions are empty. Our faith and prayers without action are dead. Whether it is at a country music concert in Las Vegas, a church service in Sutherland, Texas, or a movie theater in Aurora, Colorado, or even a nightclub in Orlando, Florida, our faith and prayers without action are empty. Without action, our faith and prayers are dead. So before coming here today, I called some of my friends back home and I told them what I was going to do today. And I shared with them my thoughts that I'm sharing with you all today. And each one of them had some variation of the same thing. They said, "Chris, you got plenty of people that are coming after you this fall. You don't need the NRA coming after you too." They said, "You come from a rural part of Kentucky, a place where gun owners' rights are deeply, deeply ingrained in our culture. You got an A rating with the NRA, which is a powerful, powerful entity in money and grassroots support. They may try to make an example out of you. You got a bright political future. Why do this? Because if you do it, you're just signing your political death warrant." But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not wired that way. I didn't run for political office to get reelected. I ran to make a difference, to try to improve the lives of the people that vote for me and send me here to speak for them. When I look around and I realize that since the mass shooting of Sandy Hook Elementary in Newton, Connecticut in 2012, there have been 239 school shootings in our nation. 239. An average of 5 school shootings every month. And what have we done? Last year we saw the most school shootings ever in the history of our country. And this year we're on track to break that record again. There have already been 18 school shootings, 18, in the first 45 days of 2018. That's an average of 1 school shooting every 2.5 days, or 2 shootings every week. Ladies and gentlemen, at a time when we've got alternative facts everywhere, and the lines between fake news and truth are becoming more blurred. There's no disputing this fact. School shootings in America are becoming more and more common. More children are dying from gunshot wounds they received in our schools. In the last 6 months, we've witnessed 3 of the 8 worst mass shootings in the history of our nation, 240 years. One in a church service, one at a country music concert, and one at a school. And yet we do nothing to try to even minimize these ever-escalating mass shootings with their ever-escalating death tolls. We offer our prayers and we talk about our faith, but we do not act. Without action, without good works, our faith and our prayers are dead. I have always been a strong advocate for the Second Amendment, and I will continue to be, but the time has come for common sense action. There are some common sense things that we can do here in Kentucky, and though they won't prevent every mass shooting or every school shooting, collectively they will save lives. The lives of our friends, the lives of our children, the lives of our first responders, and perhaps even our own lives. We should ban the sale of assault rifles. These are tools of war, meant for war, made for one purpose and one purpose only, to kill other humans. Ask yourself, if the Marshall County mass disaster, what if the shooter would have had an AR-15? Or the Heath High School shooter was firing an AK-47? While every single life is precious, and every senseless death no less tragic, would those shootings have looked more and resulted in more fatalities like those at Sandy Hook or yesterday's shooting in Parkland? You know, I was one of the few in this chamber that voted against the so-called Blue Lives Matters bill last session because I believed it was just a political feel-good bill for us politicians. In my opinion, it didn't do anything to improve the safety for our first responders. And I ask those of you who did vote for that bill to think about our first responders now. Would you rather our first responders run into a school or a church or a movie theater under attack by a shooter wielding a pistol or an AR-15? If we truly care about the lives and the safety of our first responders, if we sincerely believe that blue lives matter, and it's more than just a political slogan, then our task is clear. Ban the sale of bump stocks. The sole purpose of a bump stock is to convert a semi-automatic weapon into a fully automatic weapon, to fire more rounds in a shorter period of time that would otherwise be humanly possible. Close the gun show loophole. Require an electronic background check to be completed on every gun purchase in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. In most cases, if there's a problem with an electronic background check, if there's not a problem, it takes 90 to 120 seconds to do a background check. Pass the gun safety bill that's sponsored by the gentleman from Jefferson 35. Like I said, these gun safety measures won't stop every attack, every shooting. They may not even stop most shootings. We can't legislate evil out of our society. But equally, there's no question that these common sense safety measures will prevent some and most definitely will reduce the number of deaths and injuries at the hands of mass shooters. And if by supporting these common sense gun safety measures in the future is in fact sealing my political fate, I can live with it. I can live with it. When I look at myself in the mirror, when I'm old and gray, and I look at my children or pick up my grandchildren from school, I will know that with my faith, that there is more than just prayers. That with my prayers, there is action. and that my actions were completed by works. My question for us here today, for our governor, who is a big believer in the power of prayer, and for Kentuckians all across the Commonwealth, is our faith, our prayers supported by our actions? Are we willing to do that? Is our faith and our prayers, are they dead? So, Mr. Speaker, for Lent, a lot of people give things up for Lent. I'm giving up my NRA rating. Most likely on a permanent basis. But if it means one less life is taken senselessly in this Commonwealth or in this country, it will be well worth it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.